and welcome back to Lemon Tree Corner. This week in the studio we are going to be making a beautiful Christmas themed project bag. So I'm trying to figure out what size project bags so that I have like a good range of project bags for the next year's yarn crawl. So we have to figure out, you know, what sizes we're going to do before we start planning out all the bags we're going to make for next year. So this is kind of my experiment and also a way to get myself a project bag. So we're going to do that, and yeah, it turns out the yarn I just ordered from Hobie is like super thin. It's like thinner than fingering weight, and I tried working with it and yeah, it's just not going to work for me. It's too thin, and then I'm like, it's supposed to be a nice, cozy, bulky Christmas blanket, and it's not going to be that in this thin yarn. So I'm going to return that. I don't know how much it's going to cost to ship it back to Sweden. And then I panic bought another set of yarn that I think was the same weight. So I'm having trouble finding the weight that I want, like a worsted weight, DK weight, in the colors that I want, at the price that I want. So it's been a challenge. I think I found another one, so we'll see what comes in. And yeah, I kind of had to order from two different types of yarn, which I don't really want to mix, so I'm hoping that they both go together because I couldn't find the colors I wanted in just one yarn. So let's open our tea advent. We are on the 11th. Be cool. Plant, peppermint, lemon, verbena, and licorice. Ooh, licorice. I'm not sure about that one. Okay, let's try this one out. We've got our, oh, you can't see it. Ow, ow, hot, hot, hot. Oh, Mickey Mouse. Christmas magic is everywhere. Yeah. It's not too bad. The licorice isn't too forward. So, maybe. It's just too hot to tell. It's a weird mix with the peppermint and licorice in the same place. Okay, number 11. Ooh. Fully into purple now. Very pretty. Got that one. So it's very pastel-y so far. I'm curious what's going to come after the purple. I'm assuming we're going to have red somewhere because of the Queen of Hearts and the playing cards, but I don't know how you're mixing red in there. Maybe some yellow, definitely some pink, I would think is next. I forgot to show you, opening up this Fade Advent is reminding me of the first Advent calendar I got, which was Aurora Borealis, with these beautiful colors. Yeah, it was really nice. So this is a TL Yarn Crafts, I can't remember which one it is, but I just love this detail at the end. Is really nice, the end there. And I just mixed in, I just got like an oatmeal color, a couple of skeins from somewhere else, and mixed those in, and we've got these really nice colors. So I really enjoyed doing this one. I should wear this more. And I'm also going to take you around the neighborhood, some holiday lights to end the video. So if that sounds good to you, go ahead and grab yourself a cup of tea or a water, curl up, and let's make a project bag. So it is time to start working on the project bag. So this is one of my favorite project bag patterns by Can Do Crafts. It's the Drawstring project bag. And I kind of have a dilemma. This is the size of the large. It opens up nice and big. You can fit 3 skein project in here maybe, but it's the same size as my other project bag, and I kind of don't want to have two things that are the same size. So we have the sock bag now. We've got this size bag, like a 3 skein project. We've got this one, which is more of a 4 to 5, but this one looks exactly like the sweater one. And I kind of don't need this size. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to try making the drawstring at a larger size, like 2 inches bigger all around. Or I'm going to have to just make this one at the larger size and have the drawstring as the regular size. So we're going to experiment. So I'm going to take this pattern, it's 13.5 by 10 by 5. I think we're just going to bump that up to 15.5 by 12 by maybe 6. So I don't really need to box the bottom that much bigger. It's a 2.5 box for the bottom. So maybe I'll bump that up to 3. And yeah, she's got pattern pieces for this, but she also has a page where she just lists all of the cut measurements if you want to cut them without the templates. And then you just cut the squares, the boxes out of the bottom. So I think we're going to do that. I'm going to put new measurements for myself. I think the inside pocket can stay the same. And I think I'm just going to do 1 row of pockets on the inside. I'm not sure yet. We will see. So we've got the pretty turquoise cork for the bottom. And then we've got, oh, the gingerbread houses. They're so cute. It's super sparkly. I have this other sparkly turquoise that I'm going to use for the drawstring channels. And then we're going to use the peppermint candies for the inside because these two are just too clashy next to each other. So we'll do that. So that's what I'm going to work on this weekend. You're going to not see this until the next weekend. But yeah, the weekend's like a good chunk of time for me to do everything. I'm going to have to set out the ironing board in the living room and do all of that and cut all the fabric and everything. We are going to use fusible fleece for the exterior. The bottom with the cork, I really don't need anything on that, so I'm not going to put anything on the exterior of the bottom. And then the cork is also going to be this handle. And then what I like to do for the drawstrings is I like to use twill tape. It's just very clean. And I just sew under the edges, if you can see that. Some people take fabric and make like a little band here. I don't like the way that looks. So I guess the question is a larger version of this going to be workable with the handle? Maybe I make the handle a little bit longer. Or is it going to look silly? Because this can easily be this size. And I like the one with the loop. I don't know. I'm not sure what I want to do. Maybe we just get rid of this size and we make the drawstring one be the middle size. I would like a larger drawstring for myself though, so this is an experiment. This is a bag for me. This is a prototype, and based on how that goes, we'll determine which one of these get the mid-range spot, the 3 skein spot, and then go from there. I do like the way this one looks, and we gotta measure this one and see if this is 15.5 already, because I do like the 2 little handles. It's not quite big enough to put under your arm, but maybe it would be more useful to do it that way. Because the little finger loop is not necessarily the most useful thing. I'm talking myself out of this bag right now. I don't know. Well, I would like a larger drawstring bag for myself, so we will experiment and see. But I think I've just talked myself out of making this bag anymore with the little finger loop. Because, yeah, I kind of like this size better. This size is also more of like a small tote bag size, which would be useful even if you didn't do yarn projects, you know, that would be very useful. And right now it's got my chicken yarn in it. I still have to make my amigurumi chicken. And I have pockets on both sides of this one. I don't know. I feel like the pockets are super useful, and it's not that hard to just make 2 sets of pockets. So maybe we will do that for this one since I've got 3 fabrics. Okay, enough talking. Let's start ironing and prepping the fabrics so that tomorrow I can I can make the bag. So let's get started. No, not a lot of this left. This is actually the ocean blue. This is not the turquoise. I get my cork from So Sweetness. She's got a lot of cork on her website, and also I think Sally Tomato and several other places sell cork now. So lots of options out there if you want to try working with cork. It says 12 and a half. I think I'm going to make it a little longer since the bag is bigger. I think we'll make this longer too. We'll go with like 14 and a half. So I pretty much have talked myself out of this bag at this point, but I do want to make one for myself. So that's the only reason we're doing this at this point. I'm just trying a larger bag for myself. I tend to make scarves and shawls, but I seem to be branching out into larger projects. My blanket now is a little bit too big for me. It's that's why I bought that basket. I'm hoping to put the blanket in the basket and work on it from there. I hate throwing away these little scraps, but I don't know what to do with them. Okay, so we've got our bottom and our handle. And then we're going to go iron the other fabric. It's been so long since I made an actual bag. Out of practice. Okay. So the whole reason I'm doing this now is because we're going to start making the bags for next year. So I want to hit the ground running in January and know what I'm doing, because I've got all the fabric for the project bags and now we have the fabric for the piggies, so we can get started on that right away. And I would like to not delay that too much, so we got to figure out what we're doing with these project bag sizes before I can plan out what fabrics are going to be what bags. So that's basically what we're doing here. Okay, I should probably use this for the pocket also. I didn't realize that this was Joann's fabric, so I can try and go back and find this for the other bag I stole this from. So we don't need to be precious with this as much as I thought. We're just going to do like a quick recap of what we've done throughout the year as well. So that'll probably be the video after Christmas. We'll just be like looking back, a retrospective of the year. So we have our Advent yarns. I think it should be pretty easy to keep them in order, you know, because it is a fade. So that's what we're looking like so far. And let's see if I can find the pattern. Oh yeah. So here's the pattern I'm thinking of using for this. It's by Cherry Heart. It's called Baubles and Berries. And you'll see it's just some nice, and because it's a fade, I think this will really look good. So this is it's a scarf. So it's 17 by 77. So super nice and long. Kind of like a shawl scarf, which is usually what I like to make, is in between a shawl and a scarf. So I'm very excited about that. And coming along, I'm not going to start that until the next year. I like to see what all the colors are first. I guess technically, since it's a fade, I could be starting it now, but we'll hold off on that. We got plenty of other yarn projects to do. the best tricks for working with cork is sticky tape. So this is leather tape from Wawak, and it's perfect for getting your cork to stay in place. So first we are going to draw some lines. It doesn't matter what you use for this because it's not going to show. We're on the back side. So what we want to do is we want to fold these in like we do for our normal strap and then fold it in half. But it's not going to stay. We can't iron this because it's cork. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to use the sticky tape to make a little line here. We want to be just shy of the line and just shy of the edge, like that. And on the other side as well. And it depends how you're finishing this. This is just getting sewn into a seam, so I don't really have to worry about the edges here. It's just nice if there's not a lot of sticky in the edge. And then we are just going to take this off. I like folding it towards me because then I can really see that line. So we want to be just shy of the line and press it down. And then same thing with the other one. You just want to leave a little bit of room between these. You don't want to butt them right up next to each other because then you're not going to be able to, come on. Then you're not going to be able to fold it again. So you just want that little bit of a gap so that you've got room to fold them back on themselves. And there's our handle. So when we go to sew this down, it'll be nice and secure, won't be moving all over the place. That sticky tape will hold everything in place. So I like using the 1/4 inch tape, leather tape. I have the 1/2 inch and the 3/4 inch too, but I find I just use the 1/4 inch for everything. So, and I forgot to mention with the eyeglass cases, if this is a one-off project for you and you don't want to buy the snaps, you could always just put a button on here with like a little loop closure. So that's doable too. Okay, so we're going to sew this down, and we are also going to sew the pocket pieces together. So what I like to do is put the SF101 on the outside piece and then have that piece be on top when we go to sew it. And I don't know why that piece is longer. How weird. Did I just naturally do it longer? I didn't do that on purpose. That is so interesting. Okay. How funny. I just naturally cut it longer. Well, then we will have a little rollover. I didn't even plan on that. So we'll sew our pocket pieces together, and then we also need to cut out our notches. So let's do that here. So we want to make sure we've got the 16.5 side as the width, which is good because we really don't want to mess that up. So we are going to do 3 inches, 3-inch box bottom. Line these up, and then because I'm using the cork, I went ahead and just did the fusible fleece on the back of this piece. We're going to do a 1/2 inch seam allowance, and then we're just going to press the seam. We can't really press the seam because it's cork, so we're going to let the seam naturally go where it wants to go, and then we'll top stitch. So because of the cork, what it wants to do is the cork wants to lie flat. So then we will top stitch on top of this. So I'm going to pick a different color for that. We're also going to clean up these edges. And then we can iron on top of the fabric, just not on top of the cork. Alrighty, and this is what it looks like. So it's going to be on the side of our bag. So the first thing we're going to do with our drawstring channel is we're going to fold in and in, press and sew. So we're going to do that to all 4 of our corners here, and we want to press it in 1/4 of an inch and then 1/4 of an inch. So we're basically losing a 1/2 inch on each side, which is good because then when they come together here, you've got a little space between the seams. So let's go ahead and press and top stitch those. And then we are going to fold it in half, wrong sides together, like so, and press that. And now what we're going to do is, I like the little ruffle on top. The other one I have, the drawstring is right at the top, and I don't like that. I like to have a little ruffle, but the amount of room she leaves for the ruffle was not enough for me to get both of those twill tape pieces in there. So I made a note to myself. So what we're going to do is we're going to stitch this raw side together at 1/4 of an inch. And then I have a note to sew 3/8 of an inch from the folded edge. So we're going to do this and then this. And that'll leave enough space in between here for my 2 pieces of twill tape that have to go in there. Glittery, I'm going to have to take some tape and get the glitter off of here before I sew anything else. Okay, getting good now. Okay, so we're going to sew it to the outside first before we sew everything together. So we're going to line up our raw edges. And then we're going to have a little bit of a gap here where the seam is. So you just want to make sure that that's about the same on both sides. So this is what you want it to look like, because you're going to need room to thread in whatever drawstring you have. So you want that extra space in there. So that's correct. We're just going to use 1/4 of an inch to baste it down. Okay, and shove the other side further in, and we want to make sure that the drawstring channel is facing down. We don't want that curling up. Definitely want it facing down. Ugh, so annoying. So I'm going to sew it with those seams open and matching. And then we are just going to go all the way around and clip her down. Okay, I feel like I still didn't leave myself enough of a drawstring channel here. We're going to do the old-fashioned method. We're going to take our baby diaper pin and stick it through here. I might stick it through here so I don't damage the end. Hadn't thought of that before. Learn something new every day. And then we're going to feed it through here. Yeah, see, I feel like I still don't have enough room for the second one to go through. And because I added the SF101, it's going to be too stiff now. So, should have gone with the recipe, not messed with it. So we're going to put that through there. I don't know how I'm getting the second one through. I need to make a note to self to make that way longer. And then we're just going to pull this one through and turn it around and go back the same direction without twisting it. I just think the twill tape looks a lot nicer. Yeah. Oh, it's so hard to pull because the SF101 is in there. Oh, makes me want to go back and redo the drawstring channels. Everything else is so nice. I can't believe I did that. Well, here we go, our big one and our little one, so you can see the size difference. I think I just shot myself in the foot by putting the SF101 on the top. Oh, but other than that, it looks okay. I don't think it really works as a drawstring in this size. It's just a little too big. Obviously, the drawstring doesn't work. But that's me. That's on me. I might want to tear this apart and redo the drawstring channel just because this is my bag now and I would like it to be as functional as possible. So I will probably go back and do that now, which sucks. But I think we answered our own question earlier, which is I like this size better than the drawstring being this big. The other thing I can do with this is I can do the handles all the way down to here, which kind of gives it a different look than all the other project bags. I think I did that on my sister's bag. So I think I made this. This was my first attempt at the sweater bag that was too small. And you can see the large versus the extra large. So the sweater bag is much bigger than the in-between guy. So after I fix the drawstring channel, we are going to put our new Christmas yarn in here and get started on our project, which is very cool. So I will do that and fix this, and then we will put it to good use as our Christmas bag. It's so cute and sparkly. So I'm just going to have to steal a little bit more of this fabric to do the drawstring channel over again. Well, I went back, tore the bag apart, and redid the drawstring channel without the SF101, and it works perfectly. I also made it a little bit taller, like a 1/4 inch taller, just to give myself more room. So I'm going to leave you this week with some neighborhood lights. We just drove around with the Christmas carols playing and found some cool neighborhood houses for you to look at. So thank you for joining me for another episode of Vlogmas, and stay tuned for next week. We'll be doing the Naples holiday lights and probably a puzzle and some scrapbooking, and I want to do some baking as well. So thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate your time and attention, and I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. Love you, friends. Bye.